Waive Your Grades, where we ask that American students strive for excellence in honor of our troops. And typically, our program features veterans and outstanding students. During the pandemic, we have actually had fewer student guests. So, maintaining the integrity of the program has been Attorney Valencia Broaddus, not only with her SMART Club, but with the Black Economic Union. We'll talk about financial literacy and other young people with whom she has contact, and that preserves the integrity of the idea of presenting excellence to our veterans who tune in and our veterans motivating young people. Now, Brother Walker, Louis George Walker, founder of KUAW.org, graces us with his presence as producer engineer on Saturdays, which is really beyond the required capacity of his helping us out. So we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to Louis George Walker.
Thank you.
Now, let me say to Attorney Valencia Broader, some of you might have been watching slash listening before we came on, and you might have heard Attorney Broadus mention my cap. In fact, Attorney Broadus,
Yeah.
my intention this afternoon was to discuss why I am donning this cap, and it has everything to do with Louis George Walker, a meeting that we had with the Family Technology Awareness Association about developments with KUAW.org. Attorney Broadus, with
Yeah.
every program we do and every subsequent program and programs that we are privileged to be in the company of on KUAW, it gets better all the time because Louis George Walker, I don't know all of the people you work with, Brother Walker, but whomever it is, continue to heighten the credibility of whatever offerings come before us as there is progress with KUAW.org. And we are taking leaps towards engaging the community, particularly young people. So I made the determination after that meeting, and I'm going to ask Brother Walker just for as brief or as long a statement as he might as to how people will be able to access KUAW. But we are taking leaps towards making it a more attractive presentation and a more consistent presentation. So, very quickly, I will be using the cap as kind of a sub logo as it is because past commander past commander Gerald Caldwell, VFW 8100, presenting this cap with me as a proud military, and that word is advocate.
Got it. I see.
The reason that's so important is because sometimes people think that because I have a program that honors the military, that I am military. I am not a veteran. I am a civilian who attempts to pay tribute to the veterans. But because of the expansion and credibility of KUAW, I will use this opportunity to let people know that we proudly receive from BFW and others in the military this honor every Saturday. And my question or my request of Brother Walker before I ask Valencia brought us to tell us who's with us this afternoon is just to ask Brother Walker to let our viewers slash listeners know how they can access KUAW and some of what is in our future. Brother Walker.
All right. Well, you can access our main page is at www.kuaw.org. That's the main page you get to us. And from there, you can go to the TuneIn app. You can go to My Radio Box. You can go to My Tuner. You can go to Radio Garden. All of those have our audio side on there. We also have a follow up page called Radio Network that if you click on it, you'll be able to see all of our videos that we've been doing. We're starting to add all the videos to a separate page that you'll be able to go back and see past shows and shows that have just happened. So go to www.kuaw.org or listen on your Google smart speaker or Amazon. Just tell it to play KUAW.
And very soon, our distinguished announcer, DeQuay Wilson, will be back with us. And let me just say to Brother Walker, as we bring on Attorney Valencia Broaddus, that Brother Walker, with the expansion of opportunities for people to participate, keeping us excellent. I say this not facetiously nor gratuitously, I'm saying this seriously. Keeping us excellent where young people are concerned has been Attorney Valencia Broaddus, and she's doing it again today to introduce us to stellar young people who will not only let us know something about themselves personally, but Attorney brought us about activities and events coming up in the near and far future. For Wave Your Grades, we now present Attorney Dr. Bishop, Attorney Valencia Broaddus,
Laughing.
Esquire. So please bring us on, Valencia Broaddus.
Amen, y'all. First, hey, it's always exciting to be here with everybody on Saturday. We have other programs on Saturday mornings that we do earlier, and Saturday is just a great day because it's about um, doing a lot of fellowship and assisting and helping, and it happens all day on Saturday and the different things that we're working through. And this is another one of our favorites because the young people get to the younger people get to come and talk and do a lot of things with us. And so today we're going to do a couple of things at the Black Economic Union. We have a couple of interesting things happening. We have our spring 2021 cohort of business builders, and so we're always bringing in different businesses to come through and working with them and helping them to, kind of either start up or helping them to get some sustainability, kind of strengthen themselves. There's different phases that we go that we assist small businesses with, but normally only up to 3 years. We we help businesses, let's say if they maybe have been around for 10 years, but they're not incorporated and some other things like that. Because then sometimes it's kind of like starting new when they're trying to get business credit or contracts and stuff. If they haven't, legitimized by meaning structurally the Secretary of State office legitimized. Let me say it that way, because they could still, you could be a solo, corp and kind of operate forever as long as you just Schedule C, all this other stuff. I won't get into all that, but we try to make sure that we're helping businesses to do that 1 through 3 years, from idea startup to that 3 years, and then kind of catapult them on to other organizations that do a whole lot more. So um, one of the guests with us today is Mr. Versi Lark, and I don't think you met him yet, Mr. Boyd or Mr. Walker. And so Mr. Versi, he has a book called, I know you've heard the book, Make It Rain. We talk about that book a lot, Make It Rain, and we do the financial literacy competitions and with the young people. I know you know all about all those things. One of the things that came up, Mr. Versi, come back, talk to us. I'm sorry about that.
I'm in the car, so I didn't want you to see me sitting in the cars, but is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. No, you are fine. We're glad you're with us. We're glad you're with us. Um, and so the reason I wanted to make sure that we talk about Mr. Versi with the business builders is because even though BEU's been doing it, for a while, we do our thing. We have every Saturday we have financial literacy competitions through our Make It Rain financial empowerment group. And one of the things that Mr. Versey had said to us a couple of weeks back, we talked about the businesses and stuff that we work with. He said it'd be great if we could, take some of those businesses, maybe a handful of them, and then because we have all these businesses that are on this financial literacy call, why don't we then take a few of those businesses and then just pour all of our energy around them to help them to be, even more successful. And so y'all know me, if you just say it, we'll try to make it happen. I'm like, we'll do it. And so I appreciate though Mr. Versey, saying it, and he's also a doer. And so of course I want him to, tell everyone kind of who he is. But because he's also a doer, normally if he says, hey, you guys should, maybe do something, whatever it is he's thinking, that also means that he will also mainly support us with information or ideas because of his own business success. He also has a lot to pour on all of us. And of course, you see Mr. Jim Coleman. So what I wanted to do is just through Make It Rain, especially because I know a lot of us know about the Make It Rain financial literacy Jeopardy competition that we've done. I'd like Mr. Versey to tell us a little bit, if you will, Mr. Versey, just about yourself, Make It Rain, kind of why you wrote the book. Just tell us a little bit about you, and then I'll jump back in though to business builders, and then we'll do the competition at about 1:30. Talk about that. So we'll bring you back again.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. And thanks for the opportunity. I'm glad to meet everybody virtually. It's pretty neat. I've heard names, but I've never met Mr. Boyd and everybody before. So it's great. So my background's, I'm not from Kansas City, born in Dayton, Ohio. And I'll just start with kind of the genesis of what I've been doing since I've officially retired, kind of sort of with my air quotes. Before I was about to retire, I worked at DST Systems in the financial services industry, and I ran one of the businesses there. I'm actually an engineer by trade and a chief information officer, IT guy, but ended up with the opportunity to run one of their businesses. And in that role, I got to meet with lots of financial industry experts, as well as owners of, the Schwabs, the Fidelities, the T. Rowe Prices, the big companies that provide services to individuals looking to improve their investment portfolio, plan for retirement, and all that. And I got frustrated in sitting in seminars because they all talked about simply providing financial literacy, and they've been doing it for decades, but the outcomes that you would expect to see in low middle income communities of color is just not happening. And so my frustration really was one of the things that bore Make It Rain for me. And that was, I've learned a lot of experiences in the financial industry and other industries, and I've applied them through trial and error in my life. And I decided, with my wife's help, or to write a book, to actually try to provide a very simple set of solutions that people can apply to their daily lives to improve their ability to accumulate wealth, live more financially secure, and ideally, when they move on, they can leave generational wealth to others. And so that bore the book Make It Rain. It was launched in 2018. And since that time, I've been working in many areas related to the financial literacy, but more importantly, saving, investing, and helping people figure out how to pay their bills so they can do all three of those things at the same time. In addition, I've got lots of other things going on, but my focus, I use the word help, and help really in my mind goes to how do we improve people's ability to get affordable housing and healthcare? How do we improve the educational system so that people have the skills they need to work, not just for today, but work in the industries that are popping up or going to be there tomorrow? And liberty is around liberty and justice for all. My view is if you feel oppressed, regardless of what anyone else says, you are oppressed. How can we remove those things that are either self-imposed or externally imposed to help people feel freer? And then the P is for prosperity. And that's really the prosperity is where the book came in. Can I help improve the prosperity in the lives of people who come from places like me? I came from Dayton, Ohio, West Dayton, which is one of the poorest areas of Ohio, and get to a place where they feel much more secure financially, which ideally, in my view, gives them the freedom to actually take opportunities, seize opportunities and take more risks. And ideally, they will return some of that knowledge and what I always say, spread the wealth to the people around them and the people in the community, so the communities become much more vibrant and much more prosperous as well. So that's what I've been working on. And I connected with Valencia Mrs. V and the Black Economic Union around the financial jeopardy program that they launched last year. And I've been doing similar things forever. And so it's great to be able to partner with her. And I'm going to stop there. That's a little bit about me.
Valencia, you're muted. You're muted.
Still on mute. Sorry about that.
There you
I
go.
thought I touched it.
Okay.
No, I said no, thank you, and we'll come back. So please stay with us. And Mr. Boyd, did you have a thought or a question?
Only one very quick question, and I want to make sure I don't stray too far away from your essential subject. I just wonder how long Bercy Lark lived in Dayton, Ohio.
Sure. I left Dayton, Ohio in 1989. I was in my 20s, I was 26 years old. So 26 years in Dayton, Ohio. Then I moved to Houston for roughly 14 years, 17 years, sorry. And then Kansas City, I've been here for 14 years.
My late cousin, Sandra Boyd, was born in Dayton, Ohio. Her father owned Boyd Construction. So I was just wondering whether there was a connection, and I'll leave it alone.
I know that, it's interesting. So I definitely, our families know the Boyd family for sure. If you mentioned the name Lark in Dayton, Ohio, we are all over that place in terms of West Dayton. So definitely I'm aware of the Boyds. I don't know the person you just named, but for sure there were boys that went to elementary school with me in high school, etc.
Praise God. Okay, I won't get us off track, but that's most interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Small world.
Small world.
It is. So no, thank you. So where I'm going to go now a little bit is, of course, we have Miss Paris here, and we have Miss Destiny here, and we have Mr. Jim Coleman here. And what I want to do for a moment is just talk quickly about the Business Builders program. And so with our Business Builders program, for our spring cohort, we have different businesses that we've been helping, but we actually officially have kind of enrolled a group. I think there's eight total, a group of eight entities to kind of go through some training with us. And so, but a part of that is we also, though, for each of those eight businesses, then they will have a mentor, some co-mentors, but they also will have just different speakers and stuff that will kind of help them to just tell us as a small business, what is it that you need help with? And then from there, based on what they need, not just a program, based on what they need though, their mentor will be, of course, supported and strengthened in getting them what they need, but then also the workshops will be kind of for everyone. And a part of that is we will be taking all of our small business owners through kind of a financial literacy empowerment piece, because as a small owner myself, I just remember starting out, I was always self-funded because I didn't really understand about going and getting loans or doing this, or from the beginning, it was more of you just take your own money, just kind of make it happen. But the more I've been working in just the area of helping small businesses, I've learned I never had to do that. I mean, I didn't know then, but I know now, so I can help other people do that. So we want to help our small businesses to do things like get lines of credit, but also to save, to make sure that they're planning for unexpected events. One of the big things we've talked about past couple of weeks in our Saturday morning 9 o'clock class is we know that, and I'm sure we all have heard that at the 63rd Street building, up the location one, there may have to be moving out of there, 150 businesses. And so we've just been talking in our group about, are they ready to move? Where are they going to go? How can we support them, etc. To me, it comes back to some of the basics of, did they save for, any type of these events? It may not be expected. Things happen. Just like our regular personal home life, with business, we kind of got to do the same. So all of it is about how do we take these new businesses and kind of make sure we're putting them on pathways for success, not just for operating their businesses, but for succession, retirement, all sorts of stuff. So we're really, really, really excited. The reason that I'm excited that Miss Paris, Miss Destiny, and Mr. Coleman are here, in addition to Mr. Versey, is because Miss Paris is one of our small businesses that's going to be a part of the small business cohort. And then Mr. Coleman is her mentor. So I'd like us to start with Miss Paris a little bit based on what having your small business, and then others who may have them, but especially just for you, what are a few areas that, as you think about it, how are you hoping that BEU can help you in building your business?
Hello, everybody. So, for me, I'm hoping that the BEU can help me build my business in ways that making sure my business plan is more refined. So, whatever I may be missing, I could put those lovely details together and excuse me, so then I could be more successful, not only as a Black business owner, but just a business owner altogether. And then, as well as the information that I'm going to learn, I could be able to go forward and help the next generation of business owners and make sure that we're all tied in together. Just getting whichever information just sticks out to me the best, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely it does. Miss Paris, her business is that she's working. She has a couple. She's always wanted to do project management, real estate stuff, and so she's also she is a notary, Missouri notary, and with those two businesses together, we want to assist her in learning more about the project management, getting some small experiences and stuff like that. But then from that notary side, there are things like real estate closings. I mean, there's so much more we could help her to do. And but we paired her with someone who also knows real estate and all this, Mr. Coleman. And Mr. Coleman is a business person's business coach. And so Mr. Coleman, if you could, and Mr. Coleman, of course, is our accountant with BEU. And so we also kind of want to make sure that we're having BEU, present in this one, especially because this is some exciting stuff. So if you can talk to us a little bit about BEU's, the interest of why they're even doing this particular cohort in the spring, but then also some ways that you can see that Ms. Paris, your mentee for this project, and other small businesses, how do we plan to help them?
Okay, great. Well, as always, hello, and as always, even time, even any time that I happen to be on the same screen with Mr. Carl Boyd, I have to say that he's one of the people I've known for a long time, many years, longer than we'd like to admit, and he's one of the people who have carried the burden in the heat of the day for our community. And as has Mr. Versi Lark on the corporate side, he is very modest in saying he ran one of the units. He is probably was the only Black CEO here in the metro. So that's a big deal of a Fortune 500 corporation. So that's a big deal. I'm excited to work with Paris as always. In fact, she just emailed me her project management sheet, so she's on it and doing great work. And younger people like Paris, but even those of us who are not that young, can always help, can always gain some value from observations that people have who have worked before in business. And with the many businesses that she has, project management, property management, a notary, being able to leverage relationships, obtain insight into marketing, obtain insight into both direct marketing and more marketing, micro marketing and macro marketing, as well as if there's a need or an opportunity for financing. So those are the kinds of things that she and I will be working on. But just overall, the Black Economic Union, of course, and probably as Valencia, as you've said before, has been doing these kinds of things, business development, helping businesses grow, going back over 50 years. And certainly in the last 2 or 3 years, really doing some things more virtually. And then in the last 18 months with the virus and everything, it's been really important to find ways to help the businesses grow, survive, make them aware of all of the opportunities that are through the federal government, state government, to just help them survive and grow. And so in addition to the one-on-one mentoring that we will also have workshops on actual business development in terms of how they should structure their entity, whether you're a sole proprietor, LLC, or corporation, like how to walk through that. We'll have on at least one banker, and he will be advising people on what bankers expect. We will have, in addition to what I'll be doing, we will have on a CPA, Mr. Ralph Johnson, who owns the oldest and largest Black-owned CPA firm in the region, and many others. So it'll be an opportunity for businesses to really obtain some really key information.
Excellent. Okay. That's exciting. That's exciting. So, Mr. Boyd, question?
Just a very quick observation, if I may, and forgive me if I make it more lengthy than
You're
it
fine.
should
You're
be.
fine.
But I would like to mention for the young people, on February 23rd, 1985, there was a meeting held at Zion Grove Missionary Baptist Church convened by the Reverend Mac Charles Jones. It was the first time that the faith community, the economic community, the education community, the social community, the legal community, and the political community came together. It resulted in something called the Black Community Coalition. Jim Coleman just mentioned Ralph Johnson's name, but the person who was responsible for the development of the Black Community Coalition from a financial standpoint was Jim Coleman. I did say 1985.
We
The
didn't
reason
know
he
that.
was selected, obviously, was because he was doing things before 1985. So when you hear the Black Agenda Group, when you hear the Black Economic Union, when you hear the Full Employment Council, when you hear the Kansas City School District, just put a note beside it, Jim Coleman, finance.
You are too kind, sir.
That's good. So that's a lot of history, Mr. Boyd, that we didn't know, though. So thank you for that, because
Not kind, accurate, I promise you.
that's exciting. Okay, I made note of that. Thank you. I'll be following up to find out more about all of that. Jim, you see that, Miss Parrish, you see that's why he knows so much. Because sometimes you're kind of amazed, like, why he knows so much? Because that's pretty fun. Good, good. So what I want to do now, I want to, hey, Mr. Brian, Mr. Ross, what I want to do now, I want to talk with Miss Destiny Smith for a moment, because one of the other things, that happens is sometimes we have these meetings, right? And not Miss Destiny per se, but sometimes we have these meetings on Saturday mornings or whatever. And then again, people will say, they have ideas and they kind of, want things to happen. Miss Destiny was with us last month. She talked a lot about again her dreams and goals for public speaking and stuff like that. And Mr. Boyd, I did let Miss Destiny Smith know that you and I talked and that you agreed that yes, you will be a part of her success circle for being a public speaker. Those are the connections, and so we then have to at some point very soon talk about the list of public speaking that Mr. Boyd does. I was telling Miss Destiny that in Kansas City, in this area, pretty much 1/3, if not more, of all the different, big events and, people doing the speaking and graduations and inaugurations and all of that, Mr. Boyd is the speaker of the hour. He's the keynote. And so the reason
Well,
it's
I,
in
I
our community, though, because or we at least try to get you. And if you booked up, we can't get you, but we want you. So that's why
well,
that's
actually, I'm a little old now. There was a time when I might have been called upon, but I get the opportunity now not only to pass the baton, but learn from young people as well, which is a blessing for me.
Amen. No, we appreciate you a lot, a lot. And so, but I want to make sure that I'm sharing that piece. And then the second part is Miss Destiny. I think as she shared with us the last time she was here with us, through her own experiences and her knowledge in regards to resources in the community, not just for older people, but for younger people, for businesses, just for connections. As she's going into the next level of her education, you know, I asked her if she would be interested through the public speaking and all of the things that she does, and she'll tell you a little more in a moment, is to if she would be interested in being an intern, with the BEU, and she had said yes. And then after that, and our president, and this is the accountant I was telling you about, Miss Destiny, Mr. Jim Coleman, that's beside you on the Crossword Plus lawyer. So they approved, yes, you being one of our paid interns, um, and so or stipend intern, and so from that though we then had another one of those Saturday meetings, and we have these young ambassadors, that do, BU ambassadors. They do different things, and one of the things that Mr. Versey last year had asked the young people about when he started. I know what you're talking about, Mr. Versey, because he said, the young people, they need to start a business. He says that would be great. That way they can really learn all this stuff. And so we said, yeah, that sounds good. But last year, then the pandemic came through, so we never really got to do all that, too much. And so this year, another opportunity came up for the young people to now start a business, kind of a marketing, graphics, business stuff like that. And I went and talked with Miss Heaven. Y'all know Miss Heaven Hart, one a part of the Hart family. She is a marketing student at Drury, so she's gonna help us do some things. Miss Destiny has a deep, interesting skill set based on what she does for the public library system. And so Miss Destiny is also one of the persons that is going to help us to lead our young ambassadors in this marketing company and all that stuff. So Miss Destiny, if you could just share us for a moment, just your skill in graphics and all of that, just so that people know why you're going to be awesome she'll co-mentor with me the young people in doing this marketing graphics company.
Um, then I'm Destiny Smith. Thank you for having me. Hello, Mr. Boyd. Um, Great, really happy and grateful for being here in this opportunity. I currently work for the Kansas City Public Library. I'm an AmeriCorps Vista. And what I do there is I do the resource pamphlets at if you ever seen one of our pamphlets at any of the library locations, I find the information and then I put it into a pamphlet and highlight it, and I design it myself and with someone else. And I have a deep passion for it, but I wouldn't say it's something I want to spend rest of my life doing. But it was about three years ago. I started my business, Purple Rose Enterprises, helping people understand their inner child after abuse, and I haven't done much with it yet because that's why I need. That's why I'm looking at the public speaking area of it. But I had somebody do my website, and all of a sudden, I realized that this is what comes into place of learning yourself outside of trauma. I got into the website. I started doing stuff myself, and I realized I could do this. I started understanding a little bit of the coding. I started understanding how to build a website from scratch, and how to build websites based off templates. I would not say that I'm good at per se doing logos, but I am good at doing the background stuff when it comes to websites and and what goes where and does what. Good with any electronics. You put it in my hand. I love technology. I would say IT is one of my biggest things that I like to do. Um, I guess one of the biggest highlights that I do sometimes is I help nonprofits outside of working with the library build up their website and their clientele by registering them, like doing our Google Analytics with through their websites. So I work with a couple of them, some outside of the state, some in state. It's been a great opportunity.
You're
Valencia
welcome.
brought us very quickly.
Oh, go ahead.
Destiny is so good, and she just reminded me of something that was important. As she was talking, I was thinking, I really need to get in touch with her because of the 4 days I spend per week at a homeless shelter and some of what they need. So the first thing that occurred to me was, I really need to talk to her, which reminds me that I need to ask you. Make sure you let our viewer listeners know how to make contact and give some details on how they can follow up. Destiny is so important to this community,
Yes,
and others that's also true for. So please do that for us.
I will. I will. And so Miss Destiny, you can just shake your head yes or no to this. So you kind of understand the SEO stuff in regards to, right? Okay, that marketing SEO. So the reason I wanted her to ask that specifically, because when we think about, marketing, the graphics, the design, all of that, and helping all of our small businesses to make things happen, they have to have someone who understands about the algorithms and how to place things. And so that's the reason Destiny is going to be excellent at kind of sharing this information with some of our BEU ambassadors, so they can be great at helping our companies to do graphic content. And she's a writer. She's a prolific. She's a writer, so lots of content. So because she has all these skill sets, um, that's why I asked her if she would definitely help me to mentor, meaning our other younger students who are starting this company, because she has an idea of what happens. And what I'll do, I'll give my number really quick. Um, I'll give you the email first for the BEU, because we'll talk about that in a moment with financial literacy, how we are looking to recruit more students to just do some things with us to be in the competition. And that email address is BEU Kansas City at gmail.com. BEU Kansas City at gmail.com. For now, they can call me at 816-612-1083. I prefer a text, but if you call me, we'll call you back anyway. So that's just, sharing. That's how I'm able to, kind of pass messages on, get them to people. But that email address is BEU Kansas City at gmail.com. We have exciting things happening. And I'm looking forward, Miss Destiny. Thank you for saying yes to helping us with that. And again, I'll help you, as well. But Heaven she's sharp as well, and that she does that, but she's still in school. And so we want to make sure that we have someone who's already kind of doing it and then helping our leaders to make that happen. So that's good stuff. Now I want to go into, if you guys will allow us, into our financial Jeopardy competition, because that's some of the real exciting stuff as well. All of it's exciting, but whenever we're able to help other, young people to and their families learn about financial literacy, how to save, invest, and pay bills, and all this, so to um, kind of help themselves to be more financially healthy and pass on generational wealth. That's pretty cool stuff. And so I want to definitely talk a little more with Mr. Versey, Mr. Brian Ross, Member Jones, and Mr. Jim Coleman. And Ms. Paris, she'll kind of chime in there as well, because here's where we're doing our second annual Jeopardy competition. And here we have Miss Paris and then a gentleman named Mr. Anthony Dorsey. They are the young leaders that are leading us on that piece. And so, Miss Paris, if you can you kind of give us who, what, where, when, how, a little bit, and then we're gonna talk with. You're laughing at me. You want to send me a text? Say no. It's just if you share what you can, and we are here to chime in with you. Just tell us what you know, because we try to give all of our younger, leaders, leader projects. So as they lead them, they guide us, and we support them because that helps to really build all of their skills. And so that's why we always go, Miss Paris.
Alrighty then. So hello again. So for this year's second annual Financial Jeopardy competition, last year it was all college students. I participated in that one. Of course, Mr. Coleman was my coach, Mr. Versey, Mr. Ross, they were also coaches as well. This year they are helping those of us who participated like co-coach with them, so then we could bring on the next generation. But with the new generation that we're dealing with will be high schoolers and also middle schoolers, so we want more people to come in, get them in tune, start working on their financial knowledge, and help them be educated as well as their team and their family, because each student has to have a member, like, excuse me, each student must have 4 people who are in their team who's going to help them succeed through studying and everything, preparing for this Financial Jeopardy competition. As that's not including their coach or anything like that. These are just 4 people who they want to bring in themselves. But it'll be a little different with having the high schoolers, because they're going to have a little bit of a different curriculum from the middle schoolers, because we don't want it to be too challenging or out of the, I guess, the mindset of their age range. So that's just a little bit at the moment. Yay.
Attorney,
sorry about that. Yeah,
let
you
us
did great. Thank you, Ms. Paris.
let us let us remember to remind those who are listening. This is Wave Your Grades at KUAW.org, coming to you live from the WEB Du Bois Learning Center. First Saturday program hosted by Attorney Valencia Broadus, and I saw Brian Ross, and I think I owe him a call, but would certainly like to hear from him
Yes,
as well.
we're
You
going to
got
talk to him.
magnificent guests.
Yes, no, he's going to. What I
So
wanted to
please
share
carry
for a
on.
moment, our curriculums, we have 2 curriculums that we use in the Financial Jeopardy piece. And we always start with the Make It Rain book, because it just has information. We always want people to kind of just on their own, actually a little bit more about, kind of who they are, what they're doing. The students got the book at the end last year. And so we are going to try to make sure that we kind of get a little more of that literacy in, especially to our returning Financial Jeopardy participants from last year. They'll refresh and all that. And then Mr. Jones. That's why he said Mr. Jones last time, because Eric Jones like, who's Brian Jones?
I get that from time to time.
I remember he did that. But the other piece is Mr. Brian Ross, and through his company, his branch, Edward Jones, he also gives that other curriculum, and talk with us about your experience in doing that with us, Mr. Ross, and like when you did it as a coach, like what did you see? I mean, what was it good? Or just talk to us. Tell us what you think.
Yes, I mean the process that we went through is really try to take it from some of the simple topics such as budgeting, and then some of the even more complex topics. We got to stocks, and we talked about, I think, a little bit of estate planning as well too towards the very end. So we really cover a huge gamut of material, but it's all to me relevant and needed to understand and to know. So I will say, as a coach, it was very nice and refreshing to work with people who are passionate or excited to learn more about the topic. A lot of great questions came out of it. A lot of great discussions came out of it as well too. Jeopardy itself, I felt, went fantastic the day of, and so for me, what I took a lot from it is that there's such a thirst of this knowledge that's out there, and so I'm glad to be a participant of this.
You're on mute. Okay.
Thank you. The
All
other piece is that we were able to, as far as the content, we didn't create it all out of our heads. So that came from Mr. Ross and his company. They have different, you know, education that they give the community. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And please.
Yeah. So I mean, as a firm, I mean, the our approach has always been that we want to be local. We want to be in the communities that we serve. And so I got to tip my hat off when it comes to our marketing department, who's come up with the material. There's probably maybe 25, maybe 30 different topics that they have, and they refresh throughout the year in regards to give relevant information out to the community that the advisors work and live in. So a lot of the content really comes from them and from what they've seen, what they've experienced, and what clients have asked for in regards to how the content's been created.
Absolutely. No, thank you. I'm going to do a plug really quick. We've got some middle schoolers, through just us, just people we know that are going to be in the competition, and everybody will win prizes. Our participants that are co-mentoring, they will win like a stipend. They will get a stipend. And so, but also then our high schoolers, those who participate, they will win a couple $100. Well, they will receive a couple $100 for participating. I think you learn to earn, and I believe you help people to be incentivized by getting more information. And we are talking about financial literacy, so we want to give them money. And then the winner of the high school, competition, as last year, they will get double basically in what the others get, a little more than double. For our middle schoolers, those families, they're going to also get a prize packages just for participating. And so we're just looking to see if individuals who say middle school, sixth to eighth grade, or high school, specifically juniors and seniors in high school, if you want to be in kind of this kind of summer financial literacy academy, have some fun, earn some dollars, and then compete for some bigger prizes and have fun, either please, parents, grandparents, give us a call, 816-612-1083. And of course, you can call me or text me. I just great. Just like interested in BU financial literacy, and we'll buzz you back. Or please email us at BEU Kansas City @gmail.com. And we're interested, and we'll be recruiting for the next couple of weeks, and then we're doing letters and sending some things out. But I really want to make sure that people know that we're serious about helping the community just to get more financially healthy. I always tell people health is wealth, but also having money is wealth too. And so we need a lot of it. And you have a question, Mr. Boyd, for Mr. Ross?
No, go right ahead. Now, did I say Brian Jones? Was I the one who did that?
No, it was Mr. Verse on another call. He said, Brian, who's Brian Jones? But it's
I
because
see.
of
Okay.
Edward Jones.
No. I just wanted to say very quickly afterwards, I need to talk to Brian Ross. I think I owe you a return call, and we were planning on something. So.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right, please. And Sister Brooks,
say,
we have about 6 more minutes. So please go ahead.
Excellent. No, thank you. Mr. Coleman and Mr. Versey, if you guys, if you can, would love for you to just, as a coach from last year, your experience. I mean, kind of, what did you get from it as well as a coach?
I'll let Versey go first.
You're kind. This might be a little noisy. I'm actually going to apologize if it is.
You're good.
Yeah. So for me,
yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
The thing that I took from the session, probably the most important thing, is not only did the students, the high school students, and et cetera, glean information, their parents were also involved. The way the model works is the students are working with their parents and their siblings as well. And so we're not just touching one person in a given family. They're all starting to get information that can help improve not just their individual lives, but the collective approach to managing money and improving their ability to accumulate wealth. So I think that was a big takeaway for me. The other outcome that I think we didn't expect, but we took the action as Ms. V always does, is we wanted to keep it going, and so that in that event that culminated in the Jeopardy program